What a great week. Opportunity for the guys to get their bodies back, reconnect with family and friends. I know for me, especially with Lizzie and, 4 kids, getting to and from soccer, volleyball, baseball, swim, gymnastics, the whole thing. It was just a great week, a great opportunity for us to sit back and kind of look at all the stuff, look at our processes and see the growth that's happened, why it's happened, and try to just hone in on things we've done well and improve the things that we're counting on.
Sounds like you had a pretty busy bye week. Did you have any time to contemplate on the quarterback decision? And who will play this week?
Yes, Bryce will play this week. Again, this is about the continued progress. This is about Bryce, looking more and more confident, as he's out there in Germany. Just felt a real confidence and just an aggressiveness to his play and all those things, and of course the end result, winning. So he continues to do things that put us in a position to put him back out there and continue to build on that.
Are you still going to evaluate on a week-to-week basis?
Yes, we will, and we'll continue to look at all the film, look at the whole situation, and weigh all those things in.
Patrick Mahomes said he was going to use the first loss as fuel for the rest of the season. What do you expect when we focus the Super Bowl champ?
I expect nothing but his best. This is a team that has found ways to fight and scratch for wins in different ways, and that's a mark of a great team. Finding a block kick, and this game they came up short against the Bills, but this is a group that's been playing a lot of football for a while, and it shows, in the way that they, deploy their defenses, the way that Pat is able to use his different, weapons and talent all across the board. And of course, I have the highest amount of respect for Coach Reed, for Spags, for that whole group. So we don't expect anything but the Chiefs' best this week.
What do you expect out of your secondary this week?
Oh, just progress. Just looking for weekly progress. We took a lot of information in, and our coaches did a great job of getting to each of our players individually to talk about, the things we want them to improve from the first 10 games, the things that they've done well, but then also the things that we need more out of. So some really good conversations, some really good film study today, and then a really just a great opportunity to get a bonus Monday to throw the ball around, to get our legs back and get the guys ready for this week.
Dave, do you expect Jonathan Brooks to make his debut this week?
I fully expect JB to make his debut this week against the Chiefs. Again, we have some practices to go through to make sure that we're ready to go there. Same thing with Thielen, just get him out there. They were running around today. We'll have a couple of practices to make that decision, but my hope is to have both of those guys out there on Sunday.
What is the latest with Miles?
Yeah, Miles, so just taking more and more information in on an ankle injury, and so we'll just have to take that in weekly right now, and then we'll give you a more concrete decision once we, have more information going forward. But I do not expect Miles to be playing this week.
Just going back on Jonathan Brooks for a second, do you expect to have him on a pitch count or a snap count of any kind if he gets in there?
Not really. We'll have a game plan for how to play him, but we're not really looking for a specific number. I think that's the whole thing, right, is when you get a guy ready to play on Sunday, the confidence should be that he can go out and just play a normal football game. And so that's what we want to make sure happens. It was the same thing with DJ Wanham last week, is like Jordan Fuller. Are these guys ready to play a full game? It's not like practice where we can kind of, really control and manage the pitch count, if you will, So, but we feel good about his progress and just looking for a great week from him.
How did DJ Wadham bounce back after playing all that he did and then getting that week off today? What you saw?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a blessing in a way to have him out there, and play the amount of reps that he did on defense, and then to just get a little extra recovery. But he looked great today, so just looking for him to build in our system, build in his fundamentals, and get to the consistency that I know he wants to get to.
Is Miles' injury considered a season ender, or is it just a week to week? Or
right now, it's week to week until we have a more concrete, decision for you.
Dave, you mentioned about Bryce's confidence. As you look at him now versus those first 2 weeks of the season, how big a difference are you seeing with the confidence and with sort of how he's carrying himself on the field and practice field too?
I think it's the whole thing. I think it's the entire group finding that chemistry. Let's talk about Xavier and Jalen Coker, who had big parts of our offseason they weren't a part of. And Xavier, we shut him down in camp, for a couple of weeks there. Jalen kind of had a off and on spring, and then really was reliable in training camp to be able to take those reps, but they weren't necessarily all with Bryce. I think it's the whole group. It's our system. It's year one in the system and growth there. So I think that it's just a part of the whole group coming together to we know what we're doing schematically and all those things. So I see a speed and confidence out of the whole group, and Bryce is a part of that process too, and for Bryce to just continue to take those steps and to find ways to win, late in games.
When you say it's aggressive, how much is that of taking chances downfield that he didn't seem to do as much earlier in last year?
Honestly, it's also on me, just giving him more opportunities to be able to take those looks down there. And then again, just talking back to the chemistry of the guys, knowing how to throw different balls to different receivers, with their skill sets. So it's a chemistry thing, it's the whole thing, and it's also just myself finding those opportunities to attack the defenses.
Did he ask you to do that? You said it's on yourself too. Did he come to you and say, hey, I need to take more chances or I want to go downfield more?
No.
Anything like that?
Mm-mm.
What would you say symbolically would be the importance of beating the Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champs, at home?
For us, it's going to be about just taking the next step in our processes to improve our third downs. We're hovering right around the 40%. I want to be able to see progress, especially in those third and manageables. The third and longs are hard. They're always hard for everybody around the league, but I want to see progress there. I want to see the defense to continue to build on the improvement we've seen in stopping the run, creating some rush, those types of things, the communication on the back half, which I really thought was excellent in Germany, in a lot of those situations, and offensively to continue to complement the run game so that we can play that complementary football, offense to defense to special teams. I just want to see us take another step in terms of taking care of the ball, those critical variables and critical situations to see the growth that we want. So we've had a week to kind of look at those things and hone some things in systematically from our core, and then maybe add a couple of wrinkles, as we go forward.
Are you paying any special attention to the possible return of Isaiah Pacheco, and then how does that kind of change your preparation going through the week?
It doesn't change the preparation. It just gives them another great player that they love and they count on. So really, it's just a matter of all their plays being a little bit better when they have one of their guys back. But Kareem Hunt is an awesome running back as well. So this is a really good group. So we just have to take in all of the things that they do in their system and be ready for that.
Dave, when you were in Seattle, you guys had a program that was sustained success, perennial playoff team, like the Chiefs now.
Yeah.
Do you hold the Chiefs up now kind of as the barometer, and any similarities in what Andy does with what Pete does overall?
I would say probably the thing I respect the most is just putting his players in the best position to be successful. And I've seen Coach Reed do that with a bunch of different types of skill players. And the common denominator has been Pat Mahomes, but their offense evolves to their players and to their skill. It's something that I've always admired, and I really love. I would love for that to happen here for us as we figure out who our guys are, how to get them the ball, how to run Chuba, how to run different players, how to get the ball to Xavier and Jalen and hopefully Thielen this week, and continue to try to see Jatavian's production climb. So I've really admired that part, and then I think the big picture thing is just finding a way to win. That's the most impressive part about this Chiefs team this year is there have been some really close games, but they find a way, whether it's on defense or special teams or offensively with the drive at the end of the game, they just find ways to win. And the great teams that I was a part of in Seattle, we found ways to win. It was a 13-3 season, and I think there was like 6 or 7 games that were, within 5 points or something like that, and it was just fighting and scratching. It meant something to the guys to just find a way to win, and that's what this team looks like.
Dave, I know every case is different, but we've seen how much patience you've had with injured players. Amari Barno's returning to practice.
Yeah.
He suffered that injury in early January. Does it make a difference that he kind of rehabbed within the building this entire time, as opposed to maybe Jonathan, who was not here for like half the year, and then you got him in? And what does his timeline look like? I guess
I can't really comment to the differences of where the guys rehabbed. But what I do know is just guys being here, being around, hearing the calls, being a part of what we're trying to do and build and the things that matter to us. I think that's important. Barno there's an excitement factor to Barno as well. He brings some pass rush. He's a physical and dominant player on special teams in the cover unit. So another guy that could really help us. So it's just a matter of the right time, to get him back out there.
How much do you think the comfort level that Bryce is starting to feel back there is having to do with the line that you guys spent a lot of time trying to get ready for this season?
I think Bryce would be the first one to tell you that it starts up front, and that goes for the run game as well as the pass protection. But he also has made some great decisions, and being decisive as a quarterback also helps the line. So there's that relationship where they trust each other, know when we can hold on to it for a second here and try to get a ball down the field, and knowing when it's like, okay, they got a pressure or they have something that's forcing me to make a quick decision, and so it kind of works hand in hand, and the receiver's getting open in a timely fashion. So the whole thing kind of pieces together.
Dave, over the weekend, with misses from others, Eddie Pinheiro became the most accurate kicker in NFL history. What have you learned about Eddie in your time with him?
It's just been fun to work with Eddie. I think, just the consistency, he shows up and he does the same thing every day. And just, we ask those guys to kick on the skinnies in practice, and those tight field goals, and he does a really good job, striking those. But it was just his approach, it didn't matter that it was to win the game. It was his same approach to the ball. They used the timeout. He just went right back through his routine. And I love that. I love being able to point to that to the team to say, guys, go through your process, play to play. Just go through the normal process, and then those fundamentals and that approach will take care of you regardless of what the situation is. Bigger the moment, smaller the focus. Just focus on your fundamentals and then execute. So I love that Eddie was able to get that done for us in Germany.
Dave, with Icky coming back, it looks like, does that slide Brady back to center?
Yeah, so we got a decision to make there with Brady and Cade who's played really, 2 solid games with Bryce and going back with Bryce again this week, that factors into our decision. But I can't say enough good about Brady and what he did for us, going to center and then popping out to left tackle, which is really rare and really, a valuable player for us. So that's another good decision that we got to make.
Is part of that decision too the fact that if you do have Brady coming off the bench, you literally can use him anywhere?
That's a great question too, and that's a part of it that we have to factor in, because there's a swing tackle, there's a backup center. He really can play all 5 spots. So, but again, something that what's the right football thing to do first and foremost. So we have to make sure that we make the right decision this
To be
week.
clear, the decision's at center, right?
Correct.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.